What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another movie review. And today I am talking about 2024's Conclave, now streaming on Paramount and I believe also Peacock, starring Ralph Fiennes. Rafe Fiennes? Ralph Fiennes? Rafe Fiennes? I don't know. Either one. Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow? And Isabella Rossellini. The cast in this is dense and really good, and the story isn't necessarily all that crazy entertaining. It's good for what it is, and the score of this movie is one of the best scores of the year, and that makes even more sense now to me because the director was Edward Berger. And he hasn't done too many things that I've recognized, but the first thing that pops up is All Quiet on the Western Front, which was an Oscar-winning film just a couple of years ago. And All Quiet on the Western Front had one of the craziest, best scores in recent memory, and I can still hear, like I haven't seen that movie since 2022 when it came out, it's now 2025, and I can hear the right, like that movie had a crazy good score as well as telling a great story. This movie had a great score. Now I don't know if it told a great story, but it definitely had me sitting there going, okay, what is Ralph Fiennes gonna do here? Where are we going? Where is this heading? And you know, as you're sitting there, you're like, okay, there's like this Spanish guy. He might become the new pope, and like that's what the whole conclave is about, is like the pope dies and there has to be like this voting for who's the next pope, and the people that, oh, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this black guy's gonna win, and then it comes out this sexual, you know, misconduct type of allegation comes out, and then it's like, oh, we can't have that, he can't be the leader, he can't be the new pope, so now he's out, and then the next guy steps up and it's like, oh, Jonathan Lithgow, I like him, ooh, okay, he's now gonna be the next pope, and then they find out, ooh, he was actually fired and he's been lying the whole time, and the former pope that died was the only one that knew what he actually did before he died, right? But he actually fired the guy. Fuck him. He was a bad guy. So then it comes around, it's going to be Ralph Fiennes or Stanley Tucci. And you're like, okay, it's going to be Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci doesn't think he's got the voting. So then it's going to be Lawrence, right? Ralph Fiennes. And then it's between Ralph Fiennes and the Spanish guy. And then the whole time you're sitting there going, okay, is it going to be Ralph Fiennes? He said the whole movie, he's like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't want to be. Don't vote for me, don't vote for me. And then finally it's like down to the other guy, and you're like, okay, cool. So now it's gone through two that we thought were going to be the pope. They get the axe. Now it's down to the third guy. Third time's the charm, I thought. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, now this guy's going to be the pope. Turns out that guy was actually born a woman, and it's like, why? Like, throw that twist in there at the end. And then the movie ends, and I didn't think it ended like... It ended, I felt, abruptly. All of a sudden it was just like, oh, over. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, did Ralph Fiennes become the Pope? So, I mean, I try not to spoil movies for you, but this isn't the type of movie where, like, I think you need to watch it. Like, I'm not recommending this to people like, you gotta go see it. Like the movie review that came out yesterday, The Wild Robot. If you haven't seen, I can't recommend that movie enough. Like, it's entertaining, heartfelt, has a great story, it's beautifully animated, but then it's got like this just crushing, heartfelt story that just ruined my tear ducts yesterday, for real. And I watched that directly after watching Conclave. And, you know, I wanted to see this because of the Oscar noms and it's getting award buzz. And Ralph Fiennes I really like. So I was like, I can at least watch this for him and try and figure, you know, try and see where his character goes. So I'm glad that, you know, it at least ends with him sitting there and you're like, okay, so did this guy become the new pope? Even though he didn't want to be? I don't know, because they didn't necessarily confirm it, I don't think. But comment below if you've seen this movie. What were your thoughts on Conclave? And did you think it sucked? Did you think it was really good? Do you think it's the type of movie that you gotta pitch and, oh, you gotta see this? You know, I don't think it's up to that level. I don't know if it will win awards at the Oscars, but I could see why something like this would be nominated. The craziest thing about this movie to me is that they built an entire, like, church, for, like, you know, the Roman Pope's church or whatever. They built like that type of thing because they obviously couldn't film in the real one, so they had to build a whole one, and that set is now still built somewhere, and I guarantee the same set that they used for this movie will now be used in many of the films after this that are set in Rome or the Catholic, you know, whatever. I'm sure you'll see those sets again. You'll be like, huh, that looks familiar. Was that from Conclave? Oh, it was. You know, like, you'll see that in the behind the scenes in the future, I'm sure. But overall, I gave this movie 3 out of 5 stars, about a 6 out of 10. Good movie. Not necessarily, you know, can't necessarily say anything bad about it, but it's not like so crazy entertaining that you have to go see it. But if you got some extra time on your hands and you're like me and you like to check out what is getting the Oscar noms, you know, and is winning awards at the Golden Globes or the BAFTAs or whatever, I always have to check it out for myself, you know, because I don't always trust these Academy Award people, you know, like a couple years back, they, you know, or even in decades previous, you know, most of the time the stuff that wins Best Picture, Best Director, whatever, is stuff that nobody's seen, you know, and in probably the last 2 or 3 years, I've watched the stuff that won the awards. In, I think 2022, I watched it after the awards. 2023, I tried to watch it before the awards. This year, 2024's awards now getting put out in 2025. I've seen so many movies over the last year or so, so I've seen a lot of the stuff that is up for these awards, and, you know, honestly, some of them are correct, some of them aren't. You know, Emilia Perez, I think, deserved Zoe Saldana to win at the Golden Globes, but all of the awards, I don't know. You know, Everything Everywhere All at Once a couple years ago deserved to sweep for all actors in all categories except for Jamie Lee Curtis. That should have gone to Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever. And you know it should have gone to Angela Bassett, goddammit. Everyone loves Jamie Lee Curtis, but she wasn't even the best supporting actress in her own movie. It should have gone to Stephanie Hsu if she was going to get, you know, if it was going to sweep the awards. But regardless, that's the type of movie that won Best Picture that I think actually deserves it, because it was crazy and the craziest movie that came out that year. If Emilia Perez or Conclave wins Best Picture this year over Dune Part 2, I'll fucking riot. Just because I know the experiences I had in the box office in theaters last year, Dune Part 2 is by far still embedded in my brain from a year ago. You know what I mean? Like, that's a crazy good movie. So go check out Dune Part 2, go check out Conclave, The Wild Robot for yourself. Comment below if you have any movie recommendations for me. Stay tuned for some more Monday weekly nerdy news podcasts coming out. Comically Boston's are the long form content, movie reviews. We also have breakdown videos coming out for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and Daredevil Born Again coming out real soon. So stay tuned for that. If you'd like to follow my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do that is by liking this video, commenting down below, hitting that bell so you don't miss future videos and you get the notifications. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is Big Cam, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.